So it's a horticulture school.
No, it's a U of A campus.
This is our donation bill for the Discovery Gardens.
The waterfall is a spectacular piece of art. I think you arrived just in time.
So this is interesting. I never know what I'm going to see on my vlog channels until I actually get out there. And we are at, look at this, it's called Groth Hall. And what is it? What's the story here, Keith? We got Keith from Sunset Water Gardens and Polly, and you did a volunteer project here of rebuilding an existing water feature. All right, let's check out a beautiful new Aquascape ecosystem one at a school, a horticulture department. Department at the University of Arizona down here in southern Arizona. And apparently there was an existing pond that Keith saw that they had built, but it wasn't. Look at how beautiful this is. That's another wildlife habitat. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So you discovered this, Keith, when you were thinking about getting your master
Certificate for Master Garden.
Master Gardening, and you saw this, and then there was an existing pond. Oh, look at this difference. Look at this bench right here. I love how everybody's stuff, the volunteers are put right here, and then right here is the seat, and then look at that. Wow. Donated by established July of 2024. That setting is just incredible. I'm the pond guy, Greg.
Pond guy, Greg. I'm Jan Groth. Nice to meet you, sir.
Oh, the Groth School? What is this?
Well, this is the University of Arizona campus, Sierra Vista.
Yes.
And my husband was the founding dean here. So he raised $1.3 million back in 1991. He started.
Okay.
And then opened it to they had groundbreaking in 93.
Okay.
So
it's a horticulture school?
No, it's a U of A campus.
Okay.
And they used to have full curriculum here. And the reason that this was developed was because Cochise College is there as a community college. So year 1 and 2 would start there.
Okay.
And then they could come over here and do year 3 and 4 and some master's degrees without ever having to leave town.
Nice. And so what is the story of this beautiful garden though?
Well, this used to be just a big, empty, trashy lot where they would store plants. So back in the 90s, it widened Highway 90. You came down from I-10, and it used to just be like a little two-laner. And when ADOT said they're going to widen it, they didn't want to waste all the beautiful plants on the side. So my husband was dean, and he said, you can use this yard.
And this is where the plants came?
No. So what they did was, so they built all these raised beds full of sand. And every time they dug up a native plant up on the highway, they took like all the barrel cactus, the ocotillos.
Did they put them in here?
They put them in here in raised beds to heal them in, so they could come back and get them 2 years later and replant them.
Wow.
So what happened was they all came in and they took all the stuff they wanted. They wanted the ocotillo and they wanted the barrel cactus and such. Like nobody wanted all the prickly pear, nor the choyas, nor any of that. So it sat here idle with all that stuff just growing wild for several years. And then in 2014, my then wonderful, she was Cochise County Director of Public Extension. She looked at all this and she said, we're the only county that doesn't have a demonstration garden. And I looked at it and I said,
so this is a demo garden.
I'm on. So we started clearing it. It took us 2 months just to clear it. And then we just started planting. We drew up kind of a concept. So this is a demonstration garden. Every different section is a different theme.
Right.
So it's like we have a pink garden and a hot color garden and a native garden. This one's a moonlight garden. We've got nectar. We have this whole side over here is all edibles. Different ways to grow your edibles. edibles. So in the ground, vertically, raised beds. There's even a wheelchair accessible bed down there.
So you got pot here.
Say it again?
You got pot.
I don't.
It's edibles.
Well, you're right. Poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. It's been a delight.
Well, speaking of delight, tell me what the story is over here.
This?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's walk over here.
All right. I always wanted a little habitat pond in here. So about 2017,
Yep.
3 of us ladies got out our jackhammers and we dug a pond. Keith knows what it used to look like. So we dug a pond and we even sort of built little shelves and all that. We did our own plumbing.
Yes, I
back
love
here.
this.
Yes. And so we had a little waterfall.
Yeah.
Nothing was very professional looking, but it was cute.
Yep.
It was cute. We had fish. It was plants and all that. And Keith moved to town, heard about the Discovery Gardens, and he came over and looked at it. I think he just kind of said, okay, pond's okay, but man, I could make that better.
I
So
love it.
he and Polly visited with me and said, you know what, we'd like to take that to the next level. So the master, all my volunteers, and I was going to
Take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of this food. We're going to give you Aquascape food.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we came out and we disassembled the whole thing. We took all the plunger apart,
Yep.
took the liner, all the rocks, the whole thing was lined in rocks and flagstone. Took it all apart and left Keith empty hole.
And compare and contrast what the 4 industrious ladies built versus a certified Aquascape contractor pond. Compare and contrast the two.
The water stays clear.
Yep.
The plumbing doesn't show. The filter, because we had a big drum filter, which
Sure.
filters don't show. We don't have nearly the maintenance we used to have. The waterfall is a spectacular piece of art.
Yes.
The vision of those rocks, it's like, Keith, how did you do that, you know?
That's the art. Yeah.
It's the art.
And that sound.
Well, always the sound. And then he surprised us with the extra feature here of the,
Well,
that was
the stacks like
amazing. Yeah,
So you're happy with this young man?
are you kidding?
Here we have a 6x8 pond that this is our donation bill for the Discovery Gardens. They had originally had a pond in here that the footprint is pretty much the same, except for the fact that this section over here, we put in an intake bay. When they originally had the pond, there was no major filtration. There was a big retaining wall right here, and behind it, they had a couple of barrels, plastic barrels that had filter media inside that they were using to filter the pond. However, they were constantly having to drain that out, wash it out, and then fill it back up. And so it was a lot of work for them. They were constantly working with that. So the idea here was to build a pond with an intake bay. Even though it's small, normally we do a skimmer. But with this, as you can tell, all throughout here, they've got this great acacia tree. They've got black pines, and that throws down a lot of needles, a lot of debris going into the pond. So we really wanted something that was going to end up in the intake bay where they could just scoop it out and throw it off to the side. So with that was a really important piece to making sure that this water stays clear. As a little side for them, we had an extra urn at home. So I really wanted to get something in here that was going to force this water, kind of push this water out from the corner as opposed to using a jet. This gives something more aesthetically pleasing. And also they have a lot of hummingbirds that come around here, and the hummingbirds love these urns. They love going on the top of there. They love bathing in them. And so we wanted something that really just kind of wasn't just practical, but also aesthetically pleasing. So in the intake bay here, we have 5 aqua blocks and 2 pumps. We have a 2,000 gallon per hour pump that feeds the urn and a 4,000 to 8,000 gallon pump for the waterfalls. We're not pushing all of that water through the top of the biofalls, which is a 2,500. We also have a section right over here to the right that's feeding all that excess.
We love the fact that you had the industriousness to tackle a project yourself, but we want to make sure that it's as low maintenance as possible for you guys. So we're going to donate
Oh my
an
gosh!
automatic dosing system.
I have to take a picture of you. Holy moly!
Yeah, I love it. This will automatically add your water treatments to help maintain the pond. So an auto doser automatically adds a little bit of bacteria every single day. And when you add bacteria into the column, it reduces spawning and all the other bacteria that are living in the rocks and gravel and in the filter. And the pond will even be cleaner than what it is. And one more thing, I saw you using the #1 selling fish food in the world that also happens to be the worst fish food for your fish.
Well, I have to be honest, that's
Yes.
not the brand I usually buy. One of my volunteers went and picked it up at PetSmart.
Yeah, never use any food from PetSmart for your
Okay,
fish.
Keith is going to tell me.
We're going to actually put in, and yes, we're going to put this in for you. This will allow your pond to actually, because it's got probiotics, so the fish waste gets broken down. So once again, lower maintenance, healthier fish. You don't have to feed them Cheetos anymore.
What do you think of that?
I think it's perfect. I think you arrived just in time.
I'll give you a hug.
I thank you so much.
I am very impressed with what you've done here. And Keith and Polly, good job getting back to the community that you guys are part of. This is why I love my job.